You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a new show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired, for this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
And I'm actually glad that you're in this mood, because then people can see.
Oh no, you don't want people to
No,
see the mood that someone's in after 9 or
know.
10 hours dealing with coronavirus. Not that I'm on the front lines, but
No.
when you talk about it all day, it's tiring.
I know.
It is. It's
Now
tiring.
I'm going to ask you to talk about it again.
No, you're going to ask me to talk about it again.
You're the best. All right, Maureen Mackey, give us your credentials, please.
My darling. Okay. My credentials. Let's see. I've been a nurse for almost 30 years. I went to St. Vincent's Hospital Medical Center, School of Nursing, and the College of Mount St. Vincent. They were kind of a joint program.
Mm-hmm.
Graduated with honors for compassion in nursing in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed in St. Vincent's for 3.5 to 4 years, working on head and neck, plastics in hand. Great floor, head and neck surgery. It was a floor nobody wanted to work on. Not nobody, but nobody from my class, because it was gruesome.
Right.
Stayed there for 3 to 4 years, and then I left there because my mom got more severely ill and I needed to be closer to home. So I took a position as a supervisor in a nursing home closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for a couple of years as a unit supervisor. And then I moved on to private duty home care, where I took care of ventilator patients. Just basically that was my path into home care. And I took care of home care from then on. Basically, I've never left home care after that. So that was in the 90s. And I've been in home care since, between private home care and private duty RN home care. I took care of Detective Stephen McDonald for a number of years.
Yeah.
I was his night nurse, which was an honor and a privilege. Brilliant man and a blessed man. And then I moved along. I was with Visiting Nurse Service of New York for a number of years, covering Southern Queens. I moved on to Long Beach Medical Center home care for about 5 or 6 years, doing Nassau County home care. And then I got the opportunity to be a director for a licensed home care agency, which is different than a certified home care agency, because a licensed agency does, we don't send out nurses. We are basically responsible for the services. We're responsible for the aids and the physical therapy and whatnot. So I got the opportunity to lead up that, and I worked for an agency in Kew Gardens in Queens for a number of years as their director, and I stayed there till after Sandy, because everything kind of pivots before and after Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
In the world. And let's see, then I was in Brooklyn for a little while doing the same thing, clinical supervisor, running around, supervising nurses, teams of nurses, 60 and 70 nurses out in the field. Moved on to Metropolitan Jewish, where I did the same thing, clinical supervisor in the field, running around, supervising nurses. Just, home care, but, on and on. And now I am still a director of nursing, a director of patient services for a licensed agency in Far Rockaway in Queens, called Ameristar Home Care Services. And it's, again, a licensed agency where we provide the age services for our elderly clients, in the 5 boroughs, actually. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am. So
But you're a registered nurse, so you're
registered nurse.
for almost 30 years. So
Almost 30 years.
you're pretty qualified to answer questions, because right now the people are going nuts because there's so much misinformation about this coronavirus, and I really wanted you to come on. So, as you and I spoke on Sunday, I called you up frantic. The panic just struck
There's
over.
a lot.
It was really scary, and I just needed somebody to talk to, and thank God I called you, and you made me so calm. So thank you. And I know that you had a long, busy day to take care of a family. So thank you so much for being here. And
okay.
you could just go ahead and take the floor and just tell us what's going on with the whole thing. And
listen, every day is going to be scary, and listen, there are days that I'm scared, and I've been a nurse for 30 years, and, there are days that I get my hair stands up on the back of my neck. This is not a nice thing. This is not a nice virus.
what's the difference between this? Because you've been a nurse for the H1N1, the swine flu. What's the difference between that and what's going on now, this coronavirus?
Well, this, they had no preparation for this. They had no preparation. There was no, inkling that this was coming. There was no development of any kind of, here's a vaccine, here's something we can use, here's some preparation. There was nothing. This just developed quickly and rapidly and just hit everyone by storm. And they're still reeling from it. It's coming across the entire world, and it's leaving nothing in its wake. It's destroyed towns and countries, Italy, China. I mean, it's done tremendous damage, and it's continuing, and we haven't seen the worst of it yet here. So
What was the cause of this?
This coronaviruses are a large family of viruses. So they actually, they cause illness in people, and other coronaviruses circulate among animals. This particular one originated in animals. This one originated, I believe, in bats.
Mm-hmm.
And, the problem is, in other countries, there's different eating habits and different cultures and different things. And, this kind of crossed those barriers. So this one came along because it was a animal virus that spread to a human. Mm-hmm. And then once it happened, that's where it went, and it just kept going, and it just really took on a life of its own. Mm-hmm. So this was dangerous.
So you're saying this is not the worst of it. This is just like for us.
Here? No.
Yeah.
No, not yet. No, not yet.
The governor said today, Governor Cuomo, that he doesn't want to put us in quarantine. Do you think that's going to come down to it?
Yeah, I think it will. I think they're going to have to do something. You can't just let people just continue on as they are. It's not going to make anything better unless you really stop people from congregating and milling around. And I know that, yes, they've said close the restaurants, close the bars, no basketball games, no big arenas, no temples, no houses of worship. Yeah, I get that. And they've done a great job in those, big things. I get that. Mm-hmm. But you really have to take it a step further. You really do. So this is dangerous.
What are the symptoms that we like right now? Like I have allergies, right?
Yeah.
So mm-hmm. I have a little bit of a cough here and there, but I just have like very bad allergies. So, do I have anything to worry about?
Do you have a fever? Do you have, a malaise? Do you have fatigue? Are your allergies feeling different than they usually do? Is it, that they're allergies, or, is it something where you're feeling like, oh, this isn't allergies, this is my head hurts, my eyes are watery, I feel glassy, I feel like I want to lay on my couch and not move. I feel hot, I have the chills, I've got this scratchiness in my throat that won't go away. Because it does start with the fever and the scratchiness in the throat and the sore throat. And this is how they're saying that it begins, not always, it's not cookie cutter, it's not going to be one size fits all for everyone, but many people are saying that this is part of how it starts, and it starts in the throat and the nasal passages, and with the fever. But like I said, not everybody's going to have the same symptoms in the same order, but for some people that's how it begins. So when allergies are allergies, how allergies feel. For other people who never have allergies, something like that can be alarming. So if you have no fever and you have no coughing and no dry cough and no throat issues and whatever, it could be a cold. And it's something to discuss with the doctor, and at least, ask the doctor, make the phone call and say, what do you advise? And treat it symptomatically until the doctor maybe says, you know what, I would like to check you out. But absolutely ask the doctor. Don't just sit and think that, okay, I don't need to discuss this with anyone. Because I think that's going to be more of a problem as we move along. People that are more fearful of saying anything are going to be the problem.
How are the doctors handling this if there's no vaccine or nothing to protect them? How are they handling this if they come across somebody with corona?
Well, they're giving the smart and sound advice of, now you are to go home and you are to self-isolate. You go home and you stay away. Yeah. You go home and you stay away from your family. You go home and you stay in one room if you at all possible. And I know that sounds hard, and it is hard, but in order to not give this to your loved ones, you have to do what you have to do. Life is hard, and there are going to be moments that are hard. This is going to be one of those moments. If it happens, yes, you have to self-isolate. If you live with, 10 other people in your home, this could be a problem because you've now been exposed to other people and other people have been around you. If you live alone, maybe not so hard. You have the whole apartment all to yourself. Yeah. But, you're also, the literature is saying and telling us not to necessarily be affectionate and be lovey-dovey with your pets. And that's going to be hard for people because, I know we can't keep our hands off our pets.
Is that if you have the coronavirus, you're not?
That's if you're if you're symptomatic, or if you have if you have tested positive, do not touch, do not be lovey-dovey with your pets, because we don't know if animals are capable of catching it yet. They haven't gotten that far. They're too busy worrying about and working on the human factors, and they're overwhelmed with that. So, but if symptoms are coming and symptoms are starting, it's not something to stay quiet with. Yes, it's something to absolutely work on and treat, but it's also something to call the doctor and say, these are the things that I feel, these are the things that are happening. What do you advise? If they say, I'd like you to come and get tested, then follow the protocol that they tell you. Don't just think you can barrel into the doctor's office at noon. They will tell you when to come. They will tell you a time, and they will tell you a time that is most, safer for them and for you, because they don't want you sitting in their waiting room,
right,
breathing and infecting everyone. This is a droplet transferable virus. This is something that I know we spoke on Sunday, and we were going to talk about how this gets transmitted. This is a droplet. Sorry for the paper in your face.
No, that's okay.
This is a droplet virus. So this is something that is going to live on surfaces. There's airborne, there's droplet, there's all kinds of different ways to transfer viruses and stuff. But this can live on surfaces for a remarkable amount of time.
Mhm.
So
I'm gonna get that to that because I remember you talking about that.
yeah,
I just want to ask you one quick thing. Like the other day, I'm in CVS. I had to get my prescription, right? So I'll use Andy Cohen here. Um,
I was wondering who that was.
um, like I'm right next to people like this.
Yeah.
Did I breathe anything in? And then they have these masks.
Yes.
Then you had told me they don't even help. All that is so you do not touch your face. Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much if you do, so you do not touch your face. Well, when you think about it, if I have a mask on and I sneeze, if that
Right.
is the full correct type of mask, yeah, it may have helped to prevent some of those droplets that I would have spewed at you. It may have helped. When someone is speaking to you,
Mm-hmm.
and they sometimes tend to spray a little,
Yeah.
pleasant as that is. Now is not the time that you want to have anybody doing that.
You don't want to be polite. You
No,
don't-
you want that 6 foot of distance. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember the Seinfeld episode of The Close Talker. Remember that one, Jerry Seinfeld? That fella that was the close talker, and he was like this. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. You
Those
stay
days
right
are
there.
over.
Those days are back. Yeah, you stay right over there. So, yeah, it's very hard to do, Melissa. It's even in my office, we've had to keep reminding people and keep reminding. I mean, daily, and I mean, to the point of almost like aggravation. I can't, I actually yelled at someone today. I said, hello, do you not understand this?
Yeah.
Why are you letting someone hover over you?
Yeah.
It's ever present in my mind, not maybe in everyone else's, but it is in mine.
Right.
It's dangerous, very, very dangerous. And you don't know.
So,
You just don't
Mhm.
know.
So the masks are good just so you're not touching your face, right?
So you're not touching your face. And, of course, if you're coughing or if you have to sneeze, and nobody ever knows when a sneeze is coming. Sometimes they come absolutely unexpected. And here they are, But yes, if you're coughing or sneezing, they will tell you out in the literature and in publications or whatever, the masks are really not something that you should be wearing unless you actually have symptoms, right? So the
Okay.
mask won't protect you from anything. The mask is really for someone who has any kind of coughing or any kind of symptoms.
So,
The only thing the mask will do is protect you from touching your face. But I have seen people with the mask and all they're doing is touching their face and readjusting the mask. It's like, that's not working, is it?
yeah. And that would actually be very good for people to know to stand back from other people. If you're wearing that mask, that indicates that you're sick.
Could be, right?
And gloves are definitely.
Gloves are a
Gloves
definite.
okay.
Gloves all the time. I don't touch anything. I truly don't.
So
Don't touch a thing.
you put the gloves on, and then
I forgot to bring my gloves, actually. I'm sorry. I forgot
No,
to
that's
bring them.
all
I
right.
have them. I have to go across the room to get them, though.
No, it's all right. I mean,
Yep.
if you can, because I wanted you just to demonstrate
Oh.
on how to take them off properly without touching your hands.
I know, but we're recording. I can actually
That's
text.
okay.
I'll text somebody to bring them to me. I have that power
Oh wait,
now.
I have right
No.
over here.
You stay. I have.
Oh, okay.
Watch me. This is
Thank
good.
you.
I can
All
have
right.
people. Servants. We'll keep.
You need help,
Yes.
assistance.
Yes. I will have one of my lovely children bring me a pair
Okay, great.
of rubber gloves. But in the meantime,
Is it gonna be Kevin? Is he there?
nah, he's gone out. It'll be the other guy.
No. Okay.
Anyway, but yes, this is a dangerous little boy, dangerous bug.
Let's if you all right, so if I can just ask if you have other information, that's fine, but I want to talk about what you were talking about before with surfaces.
Yeah.
You showed me how to go to the grocery store because we can't go anywhere else now. So the grocery store is really the only place that we can go to. So when I bring home my stuff, because you said that the virus sits on metal.
Yeah, metal. Yep. It can sit on plastic. stainless steel, metal, things like that, up to 72 hours. That's 3 days. So somebody who packed that glass,
Mm-hmm.
that jar,
Mm-hmm.
somebody who put that in a box to put it on a truck on Saturday, and he had that virus. That truck brought it to the store.
Wow.
That virus is still alive
On this.
on that.
I go to grab it. I still have my gloves on.
Well, you have your gloves on, but when
right.
you come home, you
Mhm.
think, oh, good, I'm in my house. I'm in my safe place. And you're touching your face. And I just took my gloves off and I'm home from the store and I feel safe in my house and I'm so happy. I'm going to take my stuff out of my bag and unpack my groceries and put them away. You're touching something that is possibly covered in germs and covered in virus, because 3 days ago, somebody packed that,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that they were positive and infected, and that can live on surfaces.
So your recommendation?
My recommendation is, when you get something home, wipe it down. If you have Clorox wipes, even if you don't have Clorox wipes, use a mixture of Clorox bleach and water. 1 or 2 parts Clorox to 10 parts to 10 parts water. So you can make a mixture. It doesn't have to be a terribly strong mixture. It doesn't have to be full on strength, but nice effective mixture of 1 or 2 parts bleach to 10 parts water, and wipe your items down. If you don't have a Clorox wipe, something has to stay wet for at least 4 minutes.
Okay.
In order for that disinfecting to really be effective, for that disinfecting property to be there. So something that you're going to wipe the surface of, make sure you leave it wet. So as you're cleaning something with a wipe, like say you have a canister of Clorox wipe, if you're one of the lucky ones that have found a canister.
Yeah.
Make sure as you go and wipe something down,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that that wipe is still very moist,
Mm-hmm.
and moist enough to leave that surface wet and like glistening,
Mm-hmm.
so that it stays wet, because you need it to stay wet for at least 4 minutes.
Wet for 4 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
So you have, let's just say you have 10 items in front of you.
Yep.
You just want to keep that as moist as possible. So just keep dousing it inside of your concoction that you made.
Well, just don't douse it into the product. Just wipe it down. Wipe the surface down and just leave it sit there on your counter until it's dry. And then you can put it away.
So just
It
wipe
can,
it. You don't have to go nuts until like.
No, you don't have to go nuts. You're not going to scrub. You're not going to scrub. You just want to wipe it down.
Okay.
And just let it dry. This is also something that can live on cardboard for up to 24 hours. So if
metal,
you pick up
72
metal,
hours.
72 hours, cardboard 24. So that box of cereal, give that a wipe. Give it a wipe. You're not going to hurt anything by wiping it down. You have to wipe it down. Copper, not that we're buying anything made of copper, but copper, it can live for 4 hours. So this is, these are the things that they have kind of gone through testing to see how long is this lasting.
Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff. Fabrics, they're kind of still thinking about fabrics and how long, but the safest bet is, if you've been anywhere, when you come back into your home, if you've been out in the supermarket and shopping and this and that, when you come back to your house, take those clothes off. Better safe than sorry. Don't stay in those clothes. If you've gone out into the world right now for the next couple of weeks, at least, I can't say it's only going to be a couple of weeks, but for right now, if you've gone out and you've been out in the supermarket and you've been into the drugstore, thank you, and you've been everywhere, come back, take those clothes off, throw them in the washer. The temperature of the water should be at least 86 degrees. So, you want to make sure you get a nice hot wash going. You want to make sure that you want to really disinfect something if you think it's really been a dangerous kind of roam around where you've been.
And you should wash yourself as well.
Well, I mean, listen, you should shower if you've been out and in a crowd. Yes, I definitely think you should.
And Maureen, you know how we have the cloth, our own bags that we have to bring because the plastic.
Yeah, wash those.
Wash those, okay.
Yep, cloth bags, wash them. The plastic bags, the ones that we've purchased, all of us have purchased from Stop and Shop or wherever, those can be wiped down with a wipe. And just leave them to dry. Hang them on the back of a chair, hang them outside on, sit them on the terrace, whatever. Let them dry. They can be wiped down, the handles, everything.
I'd like to get back to the pets really quick. Thank you for that info. Somebody spats on the floor and they have the virus. The dog walks in it with his paws.
That's quite the visual, huh? Wow. That's you really thought about that one.
I have a crazy. I got a crazy brain here.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, every time we take them out for walks, should we come home and clean their paws off?
Well, I mean, you want to clean their paws. Do you want to put any kind of disinfectant on the dog? No. No. Wash their paws like you would wash your hands. Soap and water is what you're washing your hands with. Soap and water. Don't start putting sanitizer on the dog. Don't start putting alcohol and Fantastic and Lysol. You're going to hurt the dog. You're going to raw their paws and their pads, and they're going to wind up needing a vet visit that you can't manage to go to because the vet's saying no, they don't want to take in anybody right now. So soap and water is always a good thing. Mother Nature, my mother used to always, God bless her, but my mother used to always say, water is free and soap doesn't cost very much.
Yeah.
So, you can always do a lot of good work with soap and water,
And so I'm 40, right? I'll be 40. If I get this, knock on wood, I'm able to handle it. What is the ages where a person cannot handle?
Oh, it's not necessarily ages. What they're really worried about are people with underlying illnesses and comorbidities. What they're most concerned about are our elderly, because our elderly are more compromised. Our elderly have a harder time fighting off viruses or colds or anything really, because their immune systems are a little weakened. They've lived a long life, and a lot of them have compromised immune systems. A lot of them have comorbidities that really don't allow them to fight off things. So for instance, you have somebody who is a diabetic. Now, in and of itself, somebody may think, well, what does a diabetic have to do with anything? So what? I have a little sugar. So what? If you break it down and you put it in a scenario and you say, well, okay, it doesn't sound very big deal, but if you put it into the context of an 88-year-old somebody with 20 years of diabetes, and you think about what has that done to their kidneys, and what has that done to their vessels, and what has that done to their functioning, and then you got to realize that all of these things play a part in someone's metabolism, in someone's ability to fight off disease. And then a virus like this, which is going to attack their immune system, it's going to attack their lungs, it's going to attack their just everything. It's going to kind of knock them down. Do they have the ability to manage the fight that they will need to get back up? This is something where with a fever and something like, for days, well, that's going to dehydrate them. And with somebody with compromised kidney function, you're talking about heavy amounts of IVs, heavy amounts of, so all of these things kind of have a domino effect. So that's why they say people with underlying comorbidities and stuff have a harder time. Yes, they will, of course. And especially people with underlying lung problems, because this virus heads straight for the lungs. And it's causing a tremendous damage to people's lungs because of, if you see the pictures of it, it almost looks like a little spike ball.
Yes,
It's very frightening.
it is very scary.
Yeah, it's very scary. It almost looks like something out of a comic book. But those little spikes are what causes so much damage. Apparently, it's something that when it gets down into the deep alveoli of the lung tissue, it actually causes fibrosis of that lung tissue. And that does not repair. So
Is this a good time to stop smoking? You know how they say when you stop smoking, you get very sick?
yes.
What recommendations would you give to somebody who's a heavy smoker?
Oh, I know somebody who is a heavy smoker, and I have pleaded with them to please, you've got to stop. It is a good time. It's always a good time to stop. And I know that people say, oh, well, the alternative is not even comprehensible. Why would you continue?
Yeah.
Why would you continue? It's never a good thing to continue. And people do fear stopping because they say, oh, well, if I stop, I'll wind up with, no, you have to stop. Everyone does. It's, you're never going to get anywhere further by continuing to smoke. It's not a good thing.
No.
It's not a good thing. So you can't continue. You can't continue. So no, I definitely think it's a good time to stop that. And as hard as it may be, it's definitely worth attempting it now. And every day that you have that's smoke free is one more day that your lungs are repairing themselves. So,
because if you really think about it, you're going outside, you're touching more stuff, you're more susceptible to
absolutely
the virus, and you're going outside.
Yeah, exactly. Why not give your lungs at least a half a chance at breathing fresh air? You don't need to put any more risk in there than is already present in our everyday lives right now. We have enough.
Right.
We do.
Right.
We really do.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking perhaps, sometimes, I know this is so horrible to say this at this point, but sometimes things happen for a reason, and maybe we just needed a wake-up call, and we need to slow down. And
funny you should say that.
Right? Learn.
Yes.
This is just I don't know anything about anything. I'm lucky I can make,
we all know something about we all know something about something. I thought the same way today.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did.
No, we all thought we all know something about something, but it was exactly the thought that I had as well. It was, maybe this is the reason or the catalyst to say, you know what, people need to get back to family. People need to get back to knowing how to sit and have a conversation.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing where, maybe that's people being put together, maybe by force. Yeah. Well, maybe some good will come from it. It's a terrible circumstance. It's a terrible reason, but maybe there will be some good that comes out of it,
Yeah. Now, when I called you, I was watching about 2 hours. I couldn't get my eyes off of the television, right?
Oh, I know.
So I was watching 2 hours worth of
news conference.
News. And today I didn't turn it on at all. So I'm like, all right, you know what? This is cool. I can handle this. I don't, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
So,
it's hard. It's hard to not watch.
It is hard not to watch because you want it. We never saw Times Square look so empty.
Yeah.
It's
difficult not to turn on the news.
Sniffling away.
It is. It's different. I know, I'm sniffling away myself. It's like, oh my gosh.
So embarrassed. Oh, let's talk about health as we're
Yes, let's
sniffling
all
away.
sniffle away. Yeah, it's difficult not to watch the news. It's almost it sounds very cliche, but it's like the train wreck. You know, you have to watch. But even at 9/11, we all watched. You couldn't. I almost felt like you had to have it on. It was almost as if you were betraying some sort of, you know, I felt like it was my duty to watch, and I felt like if I didn't watch, it was something, I was doing something wrong. So
Correct.
yeah, I mean, even with this, I almost feel like I have to watch. I do.
Yeah.
Because it's information for me. It's information, you know, I mean, besides going on Department of Health websites every day and doing what I have to do for work and informing all the people that I have to inform and all the aides and all the staff at work, and you know, kind of doing what my job is to kind of be the person that I have to be at work. But I have a family too. And, you know, I have to be the person that at least has a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of something, you know. I told you the other day, I was sitting here making hand sanitizer because you couldn't get any more in the store.
Tell us how you made that. You said 2/3 of alcohol.
Yes, well, I took my 91% isopropyl alcohol. You can do anything above 70. So
Okay.
I happen to have 91% isopropyl alcohol. So this is pretty potent stuff. This is strong. So
They have 70. I mean, is
they
like
have
70 popular?
they have 70%. They have they
But it has
definitely
to be
do.
above 70.
Have to be above 70. You
Do
definitely
they have
want above
lower than
70.
70 for anybody who just?
I think they do, but you probably would find that in like the cheap Charlie stores, you know. And it really wouldn't do very much. It's like really very weak.
Crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you would take, it depends on the size of your container. So I don't want to say like 2/3 of a cup.
Okay.
Because if you're making a container of hand sanitizer that's this small, like to fit in your pocket, well, 2/3 of a cup isn't going to fit inside this.
Right.
So it's 2/3 of whatever size of the container that you're going to use.
Okay.
So this just happens to be this small. This is only 2 ounces. So this would be, you know, you'd fill it up 2/3 of the way. So maybe to about here. And so 2/3 of the way of the isopropyl alcohol, and then the rest of the way, or 1/3 of the way, just plain old aloe vera gel. I don't know if you can see that because it's a clear bottle. Hold on.
And if you have plants, if you have a plant at home, you can cut it open and use that too, right?
Well, you can. I mean, I think it'd kind of be a tough sell to try to here. Maybe you can read that, but yeah, it's aloe vera gel. It's just plain old aloe vera.
And how much of that?
1/3 of this.
Okay.
1/3 of whatever size, you know, whatever portion. But this is just 1/3 of this. And you just mix it together. You can put in some scent if you want. Any scent. If you have some essential oils at home, you can just throw in a couple of drops so it smells good. If you don't care how it smells, if you just want it to be alcohol scented, there you go. You don't have to add anything. But this and this are your friends right now.
Okay.
Mix it together because finding hand sanitizer in the store is hard.
Maureen, can I ask the $1 million question?
Okay. What?
What do you think I'm going to ask you?
I don't know.
What's up with all the toilet paper?
I don't know. The toilet paper. People are feeling like they're going to be locked down and never get out. I don't really understand the toilet paper rush.
What is up with that?
Really don't know. I think people are fearing that they might not be able to get hold of it. I really never saw such thing before. I don't think we had this problem in the past. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't get it.
It's so comical, but not that it's comical, but you should always stock up. Like thank God my mother always told me to stock up. I told you the other day, I have toilet paper here. Maybe I shouldn't say that. To last me for a year.
Your doorbell's going to ring any minute. People are going to be coming going, I heard you have toilet paper. Can I buy some?
Maureen, this is what I'm talking about. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and now we should be in survival mode all the time.
Well,
we don't
maybe not all the time, but it's always good to be prepared.
Prepared.
And it's always good to have that little extra. Can you close the door? It's always good to have that little bit extra to know that, you know, if the rainy day comes, if it's the middle of January and the snowstorm hits unexpectedly,
Yeah.
you're okay. You know, or if suddenly Montezuma's Revenge, which you know what that is, right? You know,
No, what is it? I'm like,
oh, you don't know what that is?
What is-
Montezuma's Revenge is that bout of diarrhea that hits you from
Oh.
somewhere out of the blue in the middle of the night. And yeah, and
what
you
it's
just
called?
you can't leave your house. You know, and suddenly you and your bathroom floor have become very, very close and very well acquainted. Yeah.
Isn't that, oh no, that's not called dysentery. No, that's,
Well, it is dysentery.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when the military. That's when you're in the military and you get that. Yeah,
oh my.
but yeah, when something like that happens, you know, you're not leaving the house for a few days.
Right.
It's always
But
good to have these things in their house.
Of course. All right.
Always
They
good.
were up. The corona had nothing to do with your bowels. It's your
No,
chest.
not so far. Although I've heard one or two versions that people did say that there was some diarrhea involved, but I very rarely did I hear that. So I really haven't heard a lot of complaints in that region, so to speak. I don't think that's one of the symptoms that's very common.
Yeah.
But listen, the difference with this is when something like the flu, like some people get the flu and it's respiratory, and then you've had other people who got a flu and it was kind of like a mixture of the stomach flu and the respiratory flu. They were coughing and sneezing and but then again, they were also in the bathroom. You know, so it kind of went both directions. Could that happen? Yeah, it could. There's no cookie cutter explanation for what's going to happen. Everybody's capable of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this virus technically is a respiratory virus, and a difficult one. And this is why they're in search of ventilators and, ICU beds and all of that, which is really kind of where they keep having news conference chats about, looking for this. It's very hard. It's very hard to watch those images from Italy, that, people are you see people are in the beds and they're face down. That's very rare. I gotta say, it is very rare to
Why
see
are they face down?
they're saying that for some reason that is enabling them to breathe better. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done enough investigating into that as to why the prone position is enabling them to breathe better. I'm really not sure, but I got to look more into that and find out why. But it's interesting that that's something that they discovered. I've just never seen that before, so it's interesting. But wash your hands is really what I just keep yelling all day long. Wash your hands.
It's so funny. Show us how you put them on and take them off for where you're not touching.
Yeah, listen, rubber gloves, these are just standard. These are nothing fancy. These are just regular plastic, really. This is fine, everyone. This is okay. It doesn't have to be superior grade operating room rubber. It doesn't have to. Just because if you're going to go out or if you're going to be whatever, this is just put them on. It will help you. And once, they're clean because I took them out of the box, so they're fine. But now I've gone out and I've touched things and I'm handling stuff and I buy things and I'm handling and I'm gone into the store and I've brought home my stuff and now I'm home. Okay. So when I come in the door, I'm leaving them on because now I'm going to take my things out of my bag and I'm going to take them out. And yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll spread a piece of aluminum foil on my counter and I'll put my items down on it. And then I'll wipe them down with my Clorox wipe because I'm still wearing my gloves. I'll wipe them down.
Can I have one question? Can you wipe your gloves with the Clorox?
Yeah, you can wipe your gloves with the Clorox wipe. Yeah, you can. I mean, but you're not going to leave these on because you were out into the world with these on. You want to take these off, but you want to take your stuff out before that because you don't want to handle your things until you've cleaned them.
Okay.
So take your things out of your bag with your gloves on. Take your things out of your bag, put them on your covered counter, piece of parchment paper, piece of aluminum foil, whatever. Just wipe your things down, and then as they're drying, sitting there drying, air drying, you want to take your gloves off, okay? You're not going to touch yourself. So just grab the palm, okay? And then pull, all right? And as you pull, you're not touching, okay? And then now you have a clean hand. One finger goes underneath, okay? And it's going to turn it inside out. This goes into the garbage, and you go straight to the sink, and you're going to wash your hands for 20 seconds or longer. And you can say the theme song to Law and Order SVU. That's 23 seconds. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I love it.
Or you can sing happy birthday. Yes. You can sing happy birthday. You can do a lot of things. But you're going to wash your hands pretty good. And, and you're not going to use, the towel that someone else used or whatever. It's probably a good idea to maybe use a roll of paper towel in your bathroom if anyone else is using your bathroom hand towel.
Okay.
If you have a guest bathroom where people are coming into your house and people are using that towel, you know what? Maybe give up that towel for a little bit and put a roll of paper towel in the bathroom. So this way, nobody's using your guest towel. Somebody is using a fresh piece of paper towel and throwing it away.
Right.
Yep.
And just 2 more minutes. A lot of water to drink.
A lot of water. Never let your throat get dry.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of water. Make sure you're keeping your throat nice and moist.
Maureen, there was something on the internet. I don't know if you saw that on Facebook, but it's a picture of a man with the neck.
I did.
Okay. Is that true? Because somebody sent me a message and say that it's false. They spoke to a doctor of theirs, a doctor friend, and they're saying that that's false.
Well, some people are complaining that is one of the beginning symptoms is this sore throat. So if that's the picture that they're using to illuminate a sore throat, it's a little graphic because they're trying to use the little diagram and little, coronavirus pictures and it's a little much. It's a little over dramatic, but okay. I get the effect of it. I get it. But I guess they're using it for the purpose of trying to say people don't just poo-poo a sore throat and think, oh, it's nothing. At this moment, in this time, at where we are right now, it may not be nothing. Talk to your doctor.
And
don't.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
They said that it lives in your throat, and then if you keep drinking water, it goes down in your belly.
No. Listen, you have to. You're gonna. What? Should you not drink? That's worse.
No, I'm just drink. They're saying that if it goes in your belly or something, the acids kill it. I don't know. There's so much misinformation out there.
Listen, what I'm hearing and what people have been saying and what I've read and what I'm looking at is it doesn't necessarily like heat. The virus. So hot water and hot beverages are always something that we look towards when we don't feel well. Hot cup of tea, hot soup, anything warm to drink. Of course, when you don't feel well and you're chilly because you have a fever, you always look for something warm to drink. So that's kind of goes hand in hand. And I'm reading a lot that this does not like heat. It does not like warm, a warm temperature. So that's why the rumors are that the summer will kind of bring about the end. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily true, but everybody's got to have the door open. Warm liquids, are always very soothing. Gargling, very good. gargling hot water and salt. You don't have to have Listerine. If you don't have it, that's okay. If you don't have some fancy mouthwash, that's okay. Hot water and salt, the good old fashioned, grandma used to use it. It works. Glass of warm water, as warm as you can tolerate, and your little salt shaker. Nice amount of salt. Does not like heat. So
all right.
yeah. So heat can be, you know, we want to gargle with hot water and salt.
Okay.
And hot water and salt is a good astringent and a good antiseptic for your throat anyway, even with allergies.
The old-fashioned, the
old-fashioned stuff is coming back.
Love it.
Get those platform shoes out of the closet. All the good stuff is coming back.
Yeah, you need to, because we'll be
I'm telling you, the old remedies work.
Yeah.
The old remedies work. They really do. So time to bring them back.
Fruits and vegetables.
Yep, fruits and vegetables. Get your sleep. Get back to basics. Get your fruit and vegetables in. Get your vitamin C. You know, I mean, get that bag of oranges and have one every day. You know, really get, I don't know why this is opening. Okay. Dismiss. Okay. Get that bag of oranges, everything. I don't know if you see that. So get that bag of oranges and, you know, make sure have one every day. Get that vitamin C in there.
Okay.
All of that good stuff, you know, try as you can to just really put yourself back to basics. And even if we are on a little bit of a shelter in place, time to look at yourself and say, am I doing all the things I could and doing the right stuff? And am I doing the best I can for myself, for my family? Am I doing what I should for me? You know, and maybe if I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I think I can do better. Well, all right, then let's do better. You know, maybe this is a wake-up call, like you said. Maybe it's time to look at ourselves and say, maybe we can do a little bit better. Absolutely. And we can.
And if we feel a little bit of a sniffle, we're trying to help our neighbor. I don't think it's going to help them if they're going to get sick. And let's just say we are a carrier from somewhere. Right. So it's best not to help if we don't feel good.
Right. It's best not to help if you don't feel well. You know, you can't help anyone else unless you feel 100%. That's why they always tell you to put your mask on, put your oxygen mask on first before you help someone else. That's why they tell you that on the plane. But yeah, you really shouldn't be offering your services to anyone else unless you are 100% and you know that you are 100%. You really shouldn't be out there. And on that note, like, I know we were going to talk about this. I don't know if this is our segue, but you know, kids are home from school right now. And I know I have a 15-year-old and he's off from school, and, you know, the kids are home, and I'm not telling everyone to put their kids out in the streets and do things, but it's now, you know, a good time for those high school students to kind of show us their good side. And, you know, we have our neighbors, we have our seniors, we have our elderly neighbors, grandma and grandpa, auntie, uncle, you know, even just somebody that maybe we don't really know who they are, but they might need our help. And this is the time to maybe show that neighbor or show your community service and say, what can we do? You know what, these seniors in high school, or these juniors, and even the freshmen, I mean, whatever, seniors, juniors, freshmen, whatever you are, maybe now is the time to kind of say, you know what, we're here. We could band together and we could do something positive. We may not be able to drive, or we may not be able to whatever, but we could go and do some shopping, or we could go and do, you know, some services for some of our seniors. They don't need to be out there exposing themselves. Maybe we could go walk their dog. You know, maybe we could go take their trash out when we know it's garbage night. Go knock on their door and say, can I bring your can to the front? Or if you see their can is empty and sitting out in the front, put it back for them the next morning. You're home. Why are you going to make them come out?
I love it.
It's, you know, if it's garbage day and you know the garbage men have come and it's raining, even if it's not, you're out, put their can back. They don't need to come outside and risk getting a chill, getting cold, put their can away for them. You know, this is now the time to help your neighbors. Do a little shopping for them. You know, if you know that you've gone to the store, or you happen to be at the store, and you know your neighbor is elderly, give them a call and say, listen, Mr. Peterson, I happen to be up at the bakery, and you know, the bread just came out. Would you like me to bring you some?
Yeah.
You know, something.
A little act of kindness will make them
Yeah,
happy.
goes a
And even,
long way.
yeah, even if they're home by themselves, now they
Yeah.
can.
You happen to be the lucky devil who happens to be at the drugstore or the supermarket or whatever, and they just brought in a case of Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if they've jacked up the price and they're outrageous, I'm not telling you to do this, but if they happen to be there, and you know what, you can grab two and you can grab an extra one for your neighbor, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that, because you know what, that gentleman probably can't come out,
That's
or
right.
he shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
or she shouldn't. Do that. You know, it goes a long way. It really does. One day you too will be that person,
That's
and
right.
we all will. You know, it'd be nice if we show them the way to do it.
You're the best, Maureen.
Aw.
I've known Maureen for
Long time.
Yeah, a long time. So
Yeah,
since
long time.
up 40, so like 33, maybe
Yeah.
32 when I started working in Il Forneto.
Don't
So
forget.
I'm so thankful, and we all are so thankful, and hopefully
Ah.
maybe even if we have just one listener, I always say that if I just have one listener and we help them out, then I'm
We
happy.
will get there. We're gonna
And
get there.
yeah, we just have to stick together. We have to pray. Oh, I also wanted to let everybody know that Jay Shetty, you know Jay Shetty?
I do love Jay.
I love
Love
him
Jay.
so much.
Oh.
He's wonderful. I spoke to his
Oh.
business partner today because we've been trying to work with him, and hopefully in the future we will. He's just
Oh.
very busy right now, but
Yes.
he is starting a meditation starting this Friday for 20 minutes. So I told, yeah,
Oh,
that
I did. I was listening to Deepak last night.
I interviewed Deepak.
I know. I know. I was
I love
listening
him
to
so
him. I know. I was listening
Yeah.
to him.
All
Yeah.
these people are very inspiring, and that's what we need. So head
Mhm.
over to Jay Shetty,
Mhm.
his social media,
Yeah.
and you'll get a 20 minutes worth
Mhm.
of meditation. And I think if we do it all together,
Mm.
we can kill this.
I know. I follow him on IG.
Yeah.
I want to get his book though. I want to get his book. He's delightful to listen to.
Very
He's
calm.
That voice could just he could heal the world just listening to him and Deepak. Oh my gosh.
I love them both so much, and I love. We have this is the magazine that I work for, where we had Miss Drescher on.
I
So Preferred
know.
Health Magazine, that's where we have Deepak on. I'm waiting for my coverage
Look
to
at
come in.
Fran. Fran looks so good.
She's beautiful.
She really is. She's such a good person. She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's got great people that she works with. I just had her, Susan Holland, on my show. She's the executive director. They've known each other for a long time. They're
Oh, wow.
dear good friends, and she just has the best people that she works with. So I had Susan on my show, and she just gave a lot of information. We spoke about breast implants. So
Ooh.
cool topic. And I had Sabrina Coleman on also. She had problems with her implants, and she had to remove them. That's Eric Coleman. He was in the NFL. That was his wife. So yeah, you know, if we can just make a difference, and I can't thank you enough. You're the best of the best.
Pleasure.
For being on here. I'm so grateful that I have this platform to get messages.
Well, you are wonderful. You're doing good stuff here.
I'm trying.
Doing good stuff.
I can write better. I'm not really such a good talker. I have to go to
You're good. You're wonderful. Don't be silly. You're good. You're really good. Don't be silly. This is getting better.
Yes.
This is getting better.
Yes.
You're going to be fine. This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
It's good because it's helping people, and that's all I'm concerned about. And we have to help people, and you help people. And thank you to all the doctors and the nurses.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I have a friend who I talked to her while she drove out to her hospital last night. I don't think she was looking forward to it, but I talked to her the whole way until she pulled into the parking lot. And she's been a nurse like 3-4 more years than me, but I could tell she was not looking forward to it. and nervous. And I was just kept trying to say, like, you know what you're doing. You're okay. I mean, and this is somebody who's 30 something years. We're scared too.
Of course.
This is frightening. Even though you know what you know, you still got to go stand face to face, toe to toe with this.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
You just don't know. It's scary. As much as we know and as much as it still frightens everyone. And to be the person that has to go stand there and put hands on someone that's already tested positive, I didn't envy her. I really didn't. I mean, I don't have direct patient care right now, but I didn't envy her. She's my best friend, and I didn't envy her. All I could do was just say, you know what? You know your stuff. You know what you're doing. You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
I saw a wonderful, if I can just share this really quick. I don't know if you guys can see it on here. Marisol, one of my neighbors, who's an angel. She put this up. I don't know if you could see this. It's a picture of a nurse and Jesus is holding her.
Oh, I see it. Yes. Oh, I see it.
See the RN, her tag says RN.
Uh-huh. I see it. I
love, I think if it doesn't matter if you believe in God, Allah,
No,
this one, that
doesn't
one.
matter. Yeah, all
As long as
paths.
you have that connection,
All paths.
you can't do this on your own.
No.
You just have to pray. And I always say this, and my father, my parents left me with wonderful things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if God brings you to it, he'll see you through it.
Yeah.
And just keep that connection.
Yeah.
We'll get through this. This will be a thing of the past. We just have to get through this now.
Yeah.
And
We will.
and I can't thank you enough for all your knowledge. And if anybody has any questions for Maureen, please contact me.
Yeah.
I'll get it over to her. I don't want to bombard her.
No, listen, we can do this again. If there's actually questions out in the world, if there's anything I can answer, I'm happy to. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you.
Love it.
I will.
Love it.
Yeah. You are wonderful. Mwah.
You send me an email at melissa@melissaclarkshow.com. And we're going to put this on Preferred Health Magazine website and on all my social media and everything. So thank you. I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. I wrote all day today and I just can't think. And you've been working all day. So thank you so much, everybody.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.